6 sports magazines back from CGC. Let's check them out. All right, everybody, welcome to another CGC reveal video. I've got 6 slabs here, Sports Illustrated mostly, and I'm going to share with you what I got. So let's go ahead and jump in. We're going to talk pop reports. We're going to talk my projections, some sales, some cover details, stuff like that. These are modern issues. And this first one that we've got is from 2014. This is one that I've had before. And this is Yadier Molina's first and only Sports Illustrated cover. Absolutely love this one. One of my favorite covers of all time, being a Cardinals fan and being a big Yadier Molina fan. You can actually see I've got over my shoulder there. That's a photo print of this cover that I've had for a long time before I was able to ever track down any of the actual magazines. So actually now I own 4 of these. I have this one, obviously, 8.0. I have a 9.0 that's been graded. And then I have another raw one that is with CGC. And then I also have a raw one that's been autographed, which I will not be getting slabbed anytime soon unless CGC changes how they deal with autographs. But yeah, absolutely love this cover. So this is a 1 of 4 regional variant. Like I said, it's from 2014. This was the baseball preview in 2014. This was right around the time where Yadier Molina had a couple like top 5 MVP finishes. The other covers were Mike Trout, Robinson Cano, and then Tanaka, Masahiro Tanaka, something like that. Rare Bird, I love the red color match. And yeah, so that 9.0 that I have is the highest copy graded. And this is only the 2nd copy graded. And then they did finally, they put Yadier Molina cover right up here. They did break this out on the CGC census because previously there had been a couple that weren't broken out, although I was able to locate those and see that they weren't the Yadier cover. I think one was the Tanaka, and I don't remember, but I know they weren't the Yadi. So anyway, 8.0, I'm not sure what I'll do with this one. I could potentially sell it since it's a duplicate, but I also might keep it as more of a display piece since I've got the higher one kind of tucked away for safer keeping. So there's number 1. Love the Yadier Molina cover. And this one that we're about to look at is another cover that I love. Another cover I already own a copy of. This is from 2008. And this is the Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer first cover. It's a 6.5, which a little disappointed about that. I think I got a tough grader this box because of the 6 that I sent in, 5 of them came back lower than what I projected, and 1 of them came back at the same level I projected. So that's rare. Usually I'm not that far off. Usually I kind of, if anything, under project more often. But anyway, sometimes it happens. Tough grader, that's okay. I've had a lot of good graders in some other boxes. So 6.5, like I said, this is the first cover for both Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer. This is from their epic match at Wimbledon in 2008, which is largely considered to be the greatest tennis match of all time. And Federer at one point was the all-time leader in majors with 20, but he retired. Nadal passed him, and he's now at 22. And then Djokovic recently passed him as well, and Djokovic is at 23. So really the 3 greatest tennis players of all time, in my opinion. We're all playing in the same generation, and these are 2 of them. Nadal is my favorite. Also got this one up over my shoulder. This one took me forever to find too. So let's see here. This is the only American cover for Nadal. Federer did have 3, so he had 2 others after this. And pop report wise, there are now 4 copies of this graded in newsstand. And I know where all 4 of them are. I've obviously got this 6.5, which is now the lowest. There's an 8.5, which I owned at one time and then sold to a really good friend of mine who's a huge Federer fan. I still own the 9.0 and then the 9.6. A popular a collector who's got a lot of high-end magazines. I know that he has that one. So sales wise, the 8.5 sold on eBay for $510. The 9.0 sold on eBay for $586. So once again, love this cover. To me, it's one of the better modern issues after 2000. Probably will look at putting this one up for sale since I have the other copy, but I might consider using it for a display as well. Don't know, haven't decided yet. All right, moving on to number 3. This is a new one I have not had before, and it's from the year 2015. And this is very relevant to what's going on in sports right now, and that's the Women's World Cup. And this is Alex Morgan. Gotta be honest, I'm a big Alex Morgan fan, and I'm not gonna lie, it is because I think she is a smoke show. Alex Morgan, she's also one of the top women's players in the history of the sport. Some of the lists I looked at, most of them had her in the top 10. She's behind like Mia Hamm and probably Abby Wambach, however you pronounce it. But Alex Morgan, I mean, she's now been a key player in multiple World Cups. I think she's won 2 World Cups, and like I said, competing for the American team this year in this 2023 World Cup. So would love to see them win. Would love to see her, score some goals and have a good World Cup. So I projected this at a 9.4. But the graders notes, one of the things that the graders notes said was multiple eraser marks, which is really interesting. I've never had that come back on one of my slabs as a graders note. And I do remember I had to spend a lot of time erasing on the back of this. Now it's an all white cover. And, when you have like all white, you can typically get away with erasing. And it was because there were a bunch of like ink transfers all over. You could tell that this had been stacked on top of another magazine that obviously had a lot of color on the cover, and so a lot of that color had kind of transferred onto this white back cover here. And I remember I think I had to spend like 30 to 45 minutes going through and cleaning a bunch of that up, and I did a good job because really I can't hardly even see any of it anymore. But I remember how it was all there. I spent a lot of time erasing it, and yeah, really interesting. CGC caught it. So obviously I was not careful enough, and may have put too much pressure at certain points, and under whatever lighting or microscope or whatever they look at it, they saw that and they actually deducted. So I wonder if without those eraser marks, if I would have hit the 9.4 that I had projected, because this one was really in great condition. And yeah, kind of disappointed that they docked me for that, but that's okay. Modern issues above 9.0, 9.0 or higher, I'm still happy with that. This is Alex Morgan's first cover, although they didn't label that for me, which I'm not real happy about. Not only did they not label it for me, they didn't break this out as a variant. It's a 1 of 5 variant. It says 5 covers exist, but it doesn't say Alex Morgan cover. So the other covers that week, you had Alex Morgan, you had Abby Wambach, you had Sydney Leroux, another female soccer player, Carly Lloyd, and then the 5th one had all 4 of them on there. They were kind of the 4 top players on that 2015 World Cup team. Now, Alex Morgan has been on 5 weekly covers, plus she's been on a swimsuit cover. So she has been probably the most marketable female soccer player for the U.S. team over the past decade plus. Once again, as I said earlier, because she is beautiful. Pop reports, there have been 4 copies of this issue graded, but I have no idea which ones of the variants that they are, because the CGC census is not broken out. As I said, the highest that's on there is a 9.6. There's one 9.6, but could be this one, could be all 4 of them, could be one of the other girls. No idea. But I like this one a lot. I'm probably going to put this one up for sale, just because I think with the World Cup going on right now, this may be the highest peak of potential interest and value for this particular magazine. And my collection's getting larger and larger to where I can't really just hold on to everything unless it's something that I really want for my PC. So probably will put this one up for sale, but I do like it a lot, and I do like Alex Morgan a lot. All right. Moving on to number 4 out of 6. So let's not do this one yet. We're gonna do this one. Now this is interesting. This is a smaller slab. I think this is a comic-sized slab. This is my first comic-sized slab. Very unique magazine. This is not a Sports Illustrated. This is from 1987. Look at this guy. This is a Chinese basketball magazine from 1987 with the Michael Jordan Jumpman image on there. So I stumbled across this and thought it was really cool, especially that it was from 1987, because in my opinion, pretty much any Jordan magazine cover from the 80s I think is really cool, and for the most part they're usually very collectible, and especially I liked that it had the Jumpman logo on there. Also, I've always thought just the Chinese lettering looks pretty neat. And so yeah, this was from March 5th, 1987. They put CBA, Chinese Basketball Association, I guess, and they put China on here. So this is the only copy of this graded. Really don't have a lot of details about this magazine, but I just thought it was really cool. I projected an 8.0. I will say though that this is not like traditional magazine material. This is almost like newspaper. It's like a newspaper magazine. It's got like newspaper material, and so I wasn't super sure how to project that, but I still think that it's in nicer shape than a 6.5. So once again, I think that I got a harsh grader on this box. But you know, whatever. Very unique item. It's the only one. Now I looked up some details about the Jumpman and the Jumpman, this photo and the logo. So this photo was taken in 1985. Like I said, this magazine was released in 87. The Jumpman logo did not appear on the first couple Air Jordans. It wasn't until the Air Jordan 3s, which were released in 1988. That was the first time that the Jumpman logo was actually on the shoe. Now, for the Jordan 1s and Jordan 2s, they did have a tag attached to it, like a sales tag, I guess, that had this image on there. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Photo taken in 85. And yeah, obviously no sales on this one. So yeah, this is just to show you in comparison, compared to the Alex Morgan, this is the size of the Michael Jordan. So just a little bit shorter, and I'm assuming this is a comic-sized slab that they put this in. Also, just a side note, that the little protective case that this one came in is like a lot nicer and higher quality than the protective cases that they send with the magazine. It's just like thicker and sturdier. So CGC, quit giving us the short end of the stick. I know you love comics, but that's kind of weak. They get better protectors than we do. Thought that was interesting. All right, 2 more. This one's pretty cool. I actually made a video about this issue before I sent it in raw. And it's from 1993. And this is the very first issue of Sports Illustrated Canada. That you can see Canada in that red going across the top. And it's Larry Walker. Larry Walker playing with the Montreal Expos. Really cool cover. Montreal's big stick, and he's holding a hockey stick as well as his baseball glove. I think this is a super, super cool cover. They put Larry Walker cover, and then they also put oh, you probably can't see it because my lighting's terrible, but they put premiere issue up there, which I like when they do that. And I projected a 9.0. Once again, I think I got a tough grader. Really wanted the 9.0 because, like I said, modern issues, I really want 9.0 or higher. Got the 8.5. Let's see. So SI Canada, as far as I can tell, only ran from 1993 to 1995. So it seems like it was pretty short-lived. Larry Walker, obviously this is his first cover appearance on any Sports Illustrated. This was the very first SI Canada. He did appear on one other cover for the American Sports Illustrated. I think that was like maybe 99 or 2000, somewhere around there. And Larry Walker recently got inducted into the Hall of Fame. So very cool. I think Hall of Famer plus first SI Canada issue makes this one pretty relevant and unique. Only the second copy graded of this issue. There's a 9.4 that just popped up in the past few months. Congratulations to them. I think that's amazing. And then I've got this 8.5. So even though I'm bummed that the grade was a notch below what I projected, still pretty cool to, have a newsstand copy of what's obviously a pretty tough magazine to find. And we know that the subscriber numbers for the US Sports Illustrated were pretty high. I mean, in the 90s, I think it was still above 3 million. I know in the 80s it was above 3 million, and I think in the 90s it was still that high as well. But who knows how many copies were getting made of these SI Canadas? You got to imagine it's much, much, much fewer, right? And when I found this, I had been on the look for this one for about a year when I found it, and it popped up, and I immediately scooped it up. And it's the only one that I've seen, other than I did see whenever the person that has the 9.4 got it back, they shared it in one of the Facebook groups. But you just don't really see this issue hardly at all. So pretty cool. All right, last one, definitely my favorite of the batch. This wasn't a blow you away box, but I got some stuff that I like. I got some duplicates I might possibly be able to sell. But this was definitely the highlight for me. This is definitely my favorite. This is from 1998. You may recognize the back, pretty popular cover here. And this is my favorite athlete of all time, Kobe Bryant, first cover, 9.0. This is the first copy that I have owned of his first cover, so I'm stoked for this one. And this was the only one that I received back at the same level I projected. I projected a 9.0. I would have been really devastated if this one came below a 9. So happy to get the 9. Really happy to now have a nice, clean, newsstand graded copy of Kobe's first cover. That's awesome, because it is a goal of mine to collect his entire run of Sports Illustrateds. So Pop Report wise, this has been graded 83 times. So it's getting up there a little bit. I mean, still super low compared to sports cards, but 83, it's a higher number for SIs. 26 9.8s, 26 9.6s, and then there's 11 9.4s, there's 8 9.2s, and there's now 3 9.0s, and then there's 9 graded lower than this one. A 9.0 sold in July for $177, and a 9.8 sold last August of 2022 for $8,000. Although as of the recording of this video, I know that there is a 9.8 up for sale on Heritage right now also. So it'll be interesting to see where that one falls. But yes, love this cover. This was definitely the highlight of the box for me. And that wraps it up. So hope you liked it. Please like, please comment, please subscribe. And until the next video, see you next time.